All right, everybody. So it's Paul from Alexandria Knife Sharpening, and it's time for me to share with you what Michael sent me. His very cool, very easy to make belt splitter. So you can see he made it out of small pieces of plywood. I will put a link in the video to where you can get very similar things on Amazon. I buy these for my laser engraver all the time to test stuff out. A lot of this stuff is called basswood. I'm not sure what he used here. It might be a different this might be more of a plywood or a different type of plywoods. They do make a lot of different ones of these. But basically what he did was he put, what's nice about these, you can see it's a stack. So he took a stack of these wide enough to fit a 1-inch belt and put them all together. And then he drilled them with a hole. He raised 2 up high, which is smart because you can put the track of the belt right in there. And you can adjust the width with the amount of pieces of plywood that you have in there. And you can change the location of your cutter. So you can see inside there, he has like a utility blade. I've tried a razor blade. You can put a razor utility blade in there. I showed the belt that I split with it already the other day, but I'll show you guys again. So this is an old 1200 grit belt I have here. By doing this little raise up here, it doesn't matter if you put it there or even up higher, but it fits real nice in a vise. So let's come over here to my vise. Now, as you can see, I have an axe in here that I'm working on for someone. Let me take that out temporarily. So you can just put the belt splitter in your vise, simply like that. Okay, so the most important part is just starting it where that blade is. So you want to get it in here and make sure you start getting that perforation in there. And this, I have this set really small. All right, so once I have that started like that, then it's just a matter of keeping things nice and tight and feeding this belt straight through. And the tighter you keep it, the better it does. But you just work your way around. And here we come. We're coming to the end. And bang. Look at that. One perfect split little belt that's probably, this is probably somewhere around, the other one I measured the other day was about 2.8 millimeters, which is fantastic and super small. So you can get into all kinds of small serrations and you can make whatever size ones you want. So let's see here. Yeah, this one's measuring, yeah, again, 2.8. Oh, I remembered one other thing that I might say would be kind of cool to make for this. So my other splitter has a track, but what it also came with, and this is just a thought for those of you out there, it came with these little blocks so that when you have a belt inside here, let me see if I can go wider here. So when I have a belt inside here, I can drop this block in and it holds the abrasive down there so I don't have to sit there and slide it with my fingers. And it does a really nice job of holding that abrasive down, and then you can really pull fast. That would be the only thing I would consider might be worth making for this, would be something similar to this little block, would be something that will fit in that track that you can hold your abrasive down with and pull it across. But again, not necessary, but might be a cool thing to do. especially if you guys have a 3D printer, but I'm also sure you could do it with, if you have a cutting laser, you could easily cut wood, a couple stacks of wood, glue it together, and make a similar type of thing to hold the abrasive down, make it a little bit easier on your fingers. So how cool is that? So that's it. I'll leave the link to the pieces of wood, because that's about basically all you need. If you get these, and I buy these, I get them in like packs of 50 because I use them to burn test engravings all the time. But as you see, you can make a very cool belt splitter with it, and I think 50 of these only cost about like 15 bucks. So you're going to need 2 nuts and some either utility razor blades of some type to squeeze in there. I'll show you what he used on here, but I've also used my other splitter uses just regular utility razor blades, but I'm going to show you what he used because you can get these pretty easily too. These are nice and these are pretty nice and sturdy, this kind here. Let's see here. Yeah, this thing holds really well together. There's not a lot of, once you get it together, there we go. Okay, so yeah, it's your pretty standard, he used a very standard utility blade in there, which is great because these are nice and strong. I have used these. What do we call these? Oh, they're just called razor blades too, but these are more of the kind that you see on like a, I guess you'd call it a paint scraper for scraping paint. These are very, very sharp. So this is another, so this is the kind I like to use, and these work really well too, and there's no reason why you couldn't fit one of these in here as well. And the only other thing you might want to do is, if you were going to cut the same size belt all the time, you could file a little track away. The very expensive one I have, they did actually grind away an area so that the blade is seated in there perfectly. But I'm going to tell you, it's absolutely not necessary. That's, I mean, if you want to make it about as perfect as you could, that would be one way to do it. Another cool thing I was thinking of was you could also make this with acrylic. For those of you that do have lasers, I don't know how much that would increase the cost, but you might get less flexing and size changing with humidity and stuff that you'll get with wood. But like I said, you can kind of adjust it with the wing nuts, and does it really matter if you're getting this like perfect little 2.8 millimeter belt? That's plenty good for me. If I need one bigger size, I'm just going to slide it over a slot or two. So that's it. And thank you, everybody. And thank you again, Michael, for this very cool design and sharing this with the channel. And I hope this helps some of you guys out there that wanted to get a belt splitter, because I know a lot of you don't want to spend $160 on one. I didn't want to spend $160 on one. So this is really a great option. Okay, I just did another cut test with the razors that I have, and I will tell you, these are way better. It cut far smoother and much more perfect. So I'm going to recommend that you get those style razors. I'll put a link in there to them, but it is almost perfectly square. Now, I do go through those razors more often. They are much more sharp, but they cut way better. So, you know, the abrasive that you're cutting is going to eventually destroy that razor, but you can keep raising it up a little bit and just change its location. But those more square type razors are better than a utility blade. Links to the blade and the wood will be in the description of this video.